light and fluffy banana cake covered with whipped brown sugar buttercream, the best way to use up any old bananas. In a medium-sized mixing bowl, add the room temperature butter and sugar. Use a whisk or a wooden spoon to mix together the ingredients until well combined. This should only take a minute or so. There is no need to use a hand mixer for this, as they don't need to be creamed together, just combined. This banana cake is one of the best ways to use up any old bananas you have sitting around. The ones that have turned spotty and you can smell them from the other room. Those are the ones that you want to use for this cake. As they are so ripe, they have incredible flavour and sweetness for baking that newer bananas just don't have. If you would like the full recipe for this banana cake, it will be on my website as well as the full measurements listed in the information box below. Next is 2 medium-sized free-range eggs. Crack them in one at a time, beating the mixture in between each addition so the eggs are fully incorporated. Lastly, add a splash of vanilla and set the mixing bowl to the side. Let me know what your favourite flavour of cake is. Carrot cake is one of mine, so keep an eye out for that recipe sometime soon. Using a smaller bowl, peel the bananas and add them in. You don't want to use fresh bananas here, the trick is to use those ones that are starting to go bad. One thing I always do if I have bananas that are starting to go bad, I'll just throw them in the freezer, so I always have some on hand for baking. Break them in half, bruises and all, and add them to the bowl. Use a fork to mash the bananas until they turn creamy. You can leave them a little lumpy if you would like. You'll end up with pieces of banana in the cake, or mash them until they are smooth so they'll fully incorporate into the batter. Add the mashed bananas to the wet ingredients and mix together until combined. Before getting started on the dry ingredients, measure out half a cup of milk and add in a teaspoon of lemon juice. Leave it to sit for 5 to 10 minutes while you measure out the dry ingredients. This will sour the milk or turn it into something like buttermilk. If you would prefer, use buttermilk, but you'll get the same result as doing this. Place a sieve over the mixing bowl and measure out the dry ingredients: the flour, baking soda, cinnamon and salt. Make sure to use baking soda instead of baking powder in this recipe. The soda is going to react with the banana and soured milk to produce such a light, airy and fluffy cake. I find about half a teaspoon of cinnamon is enough. It gives a slight hint of flavour which works perfectly with the brown sugar buttercream. Sieve the ingredients into the mixing bowl and use a wooden spoon to fold through. Pour in the milk mixture and continue folding the batter together until just combined. Stop mixing as soon as you no longer see any dry flour. Pour the batter into a lined and greased cake tin and bake in a 180°C or 350°F oven for 50 to 60 minutes or until the cake is fully cooked and a skewer comes out clean. Leave to cool in the tin for 5 to 10 minutes before transferring to a wire rack. While the cake is cooling, get started on the brown sugar buttercream. This buttercream has a caramel undertone from the brown sugar and a hint of cinnamon that works really well with banana cake, but you can also use chocolate, lemon, passion fruit or cream cheese icing. All work really well. In the bowl of a stand mixer or a large bowl if you're using a hand mixer, add in the room temperature butter. Mix on medium to high speed for about 5 minutes until the butter is light and pale. Add in the brown sugar, cinnamon and a splash of vanilla and mix together until combined. Slowly add the icing sugar in thirds, scraping down the bowl in between until fully incorporated. You should end up with a light and fluffy creamy buttercream. If your buttercream is too stiff, add a splash of milk to thin it out. Cover the cooled cake in buttercream. I repeated the banana cake recipe again to make a layer cake. You could also cut the cake through the centre and place buttercream in between. Decorate the cake with fresh flowers or chopped walnuts, or leave it to speak for itself. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Let me know if you're going to try this banana cake. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.